Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Judy and I'm participating in a YouTuber's Hop today featuring Let It Snow. And these are the photos. These are from New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And I thought I'd use those to create a layout. And I picked a couple pieces of cardstock. I'm actually not using any pattern paper. I'm a close to my heart maker, so I'm using close to my heart products on almost everything. I have a piece of cardstock. It's pretty heavyweight. It's actually a pattern paper that I picked up at Tuesday morning that I use for my bases, and it's really heavy, so it works out really well. And that's what I'm going to use for my base. That's just scrap paper. I'm going to use this stamp set, which is Floral Snowflakes, and I believe it is still available on Close to My Heart's website. It's great snowflake stamps and also has thin cuts with it. I'm also going to use Carolina cardstock and Toffee cardstock. I'm going to do some heat embossing for the snowflakes and create a frame with both of these pieces of cardstock onto the white. Have some snowflakes, a title, a year, and it'll be easy peasy. First thing I'm going to do is cut my cardstock. Okay, and to do this, I'm going to cut one at 11 inches and the other at 10 inches. So this will be the 11-inch one. And it doesn't matter, it's just, you know, preference of what color you want where. And you'll see that as I go along here. So, actually I'm going to cut this one at 11 or 10 and a half instead of 10. Now I'm going to cut out a 1-inch border all the way around. And to do that, I'm going to line it up. This Fiskars cutting tool is great. It is one of the best that I have. I go to it all the time. The only thing is the blades do wear out, but because it is my favorite and I can get thin cuts, I can do gutting my paper, I can do everything with it. I always seem to pull it out, so I just use it. And I have a lot of other cutters that are just sitting on the table, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from 1-inch mark here, and this is 10 and a half, so I'll go to 9 and a half. And it has a little mark here that that guides me. I trimmed down my photos, and this is, let's see, 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I used my Versamat for so many things. And this is a little over 6 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to trim this one down. I like to have my photos be on the 1/4 inch mark so that when I trim my layers, it's easier for my brain. So I use the inside of my gutted cardstock for my layers. And so this is the smaller one, so we're going to make this the first layer. So I'll make this 4 by 6 1/4 for that first photo. I actually can make that a little bit shorter. I can cut off some of the top. Let's do that. This picture is going to have to go the long way. And I know that one was 5, well, 4 3/4, so 5 is the measurement. By 3 3/4, so it'll be 4. That'll give me an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. There. Now there are two ways you can lay out this frame type layout. You can put it like this, which is how I'm going to do it, or you can put the blue underneath and the other one on top, so you just have an inside border. And I use this one too, but I'm not going to for this layout. I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to mark. Oops, I moved it. Try not to move it. And it doesn't have to be exact. This is just going to be my stamping area. These are the stamp sets I pulled out to use. This one is still available, although it's retired. It's the Marquee alphabet. This is also still available. It's Pennant Banner alphabet. I'm just going to use it for the pennant, the banner swag. And this is Stitched alphabet, and this is current too. And I'm going to use this side. So I'm going to pull out this stamp, and be careful with the stamps. They can rip if you pull on them too much. It has a little curve to it. It has a little dirt on it. But you can make it more curved how you want it, and then put it on my block so that it has a nice curve there. Okay. And I'm going to stamp it along the top here so that it has the banner. I'm going to use our archival black. I'm actually going to turn my paper around. First of all, I'm going to attach it to here. I put a little bit of tape in the corners of my Versamat. This rubs off with your fingers. Then it is easier for me to do it. All right, so there we go. So now I have my corners here where I can see them. And using clear stamps makes it so easy to be able to see through this corner to there, and it doesn't have to be exact. And this is not going to reach. That's all right. Use our scrap paper to cover up there. Like that. And we have these really cool stamp chamois, stamp cleaning chamois that doesn't leave any fibers or residue on your stamps. I'm also going to do the year in this stamp set because I'm going to add some sequins to the numbers to give it some pizzazz and shine for the new year. And I can do this in our archival black. Do it on this, and I'm going to stamp on something dark so I can see the outline of the paper. Otherwise, if you stamp white on white, it's hard to see where the line is and to line up the stamps. Just a little tip. Stamp it down. Hold it there for a minute. Very good. All right. I know I need 2 more twos, so I'm going to leave it out. I'm not going to clean it. Try not to get any on my fingers. Here's the 0. I could cut the numbers out, but I want to use it as a banner on the bottom. Let's make sure I get that good impression. Good. Okay. On this stamp set, there's some really cool little stamps for enhancements, and they're these starbursts. So I'm going to use those for my swag. And I'm just going to align them so that they will kind of follow the curve. And tweezers will help them to not stick to my fingers. I'm going to use the colors that coordinate with my cardstock, which is the Toffee and Carolina. Isn't that cool? I turned my Versamat over because we have a cushion on the other side and I can use it for big things like this rather than use the cushion that's in the stamp set, which is this one. That way, wherever my paper is, it will be on cushion. I don't have to adjust where it is. I'm going to make a title that says New Year's. And I'm going to use Intense Black because then I can color it with my tri-blend markers. I'm going to do an ombre effect. Okay, I finished stamping and I layered these onto the blue and the toffee, the Carolina and the toffee. And now I'm going to use my markers to color them in. And the colors I found, I thought was the best, was the True Blue blend for the Carolina and the muted brown for the toffee. And if you ever have a question about that, is take a piece of your cardstock and put it onto some white daisy and then color and see, does that look good? And it was the closest I found. And the same with the toffee. Of course, that's a darker one, so it matches a little bit. So that's good enough for me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my marker to color the letters. And I'm going to do the light, the medium, and the medium I just overlap a little bit. And go down. And then the dark. And then I'll go back over the whole thing with the light where it's blended. So that's how I get my ombre with my letters. Now, I'll finish those off camera, but I want to show you how I'm going to do these with my sequins. We have a lot of loose sequin mixes that we've had. We have flowers, bluebell, julep, the Christmas, gold, and then we have little gems and beads, and I put them all in this little storage container. Now I wanted to use snowflakes, and these are ones that just went out. I don't believe they're still available, but use any sequins that you may have. These are good because, you know, it is the snow theme for this hop. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and of course my glue is plugged. Okay. So put a little glue and do a few of these. Don't do a lot. And this glue dries rock hard. And then we also have a new pickup tool. It's a little, like a little waxy material in this plastic wrap. And you just clean it off if it gets any goop on it, which it does. And then it picks up your sequins. And then you just put them in your glue. And it's so easy. So this 2022 is going to be very blingy. And I'll finish those off camera as well. Before I put my layers down, I want to add a little ink to the background. I'm going to do it just very softly with these sponges. And I'm going to go a little bit off the page because the little white border will show. And now it's a little brown. And go light at first. See how that was a little blotchy there? So you know that'll probably where I put a photo. And then we'll add a little bit of splatters with shimmer brushes. I do have toffee. And you shake it up to get the shimmer all in there. Don't open it over your project. Make sure you got a good amount on the brush. Just tap. Now I'm going to add my border. And in case I want to tuck any snowflakes underneath, I'm not going to put a lot of glue on here. I can always add more glue later if it doesn't seem to hold. I think I'm going to put the dark side out. Our paper is two-toned. You have a light side and a dark side. It's like getting two colors with one piece. Oh, there we go. And with the liquid adhesive, I can manipulate this just a little bit before it's stuck down. Okay, I like that. That's really pretty. Now we're going to add the photos. Let's see if we go here. And I already stamped and cut out my snowflakes to save time. And I can go off of the cardstock layers with these. Let's go with the biggest one first. I don't want to cover up that really pretty splatter there. Could go off here, that. And I have room for my journaling. So it's really good. Another option I can have is to add some glitter paper around the outside. So I'll do that and be right back. I pulled out some of my white shimmer trim, and I only have so much. I don't know if I have enough to go all the way around. So I'm going to be really frugal. And I went ahead and marked where my title was going to be, so I don't have to put shimmer trim under there, and where my year is, I don't have to put shimmer trim under here. Another thing I can do is mark where I'm going to have it meet. So I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch away from this edge, and I marked it 1/4 of an inch here and 1/4 of an inch here. I'm going to need to do that on every corner. I love these quilting rulers for things like this. So our shimmer trim has a plastic liner on it. If I cut the plastic liner, then I'd have to finagle it to get it off. So I just keep a little bit off the edge here so that I don't have to worry about finding or manipulating it to get the plastic liner off. Okay, I'm going to start on the corner and go down. You know, it's got to go about to, let's see, I got a little piece here. And it'll be about, to there. So this piece like this. Okay. I'll go this piece to the top. got a little strip left for another layout. And I'll cut it so I always have that lead part. Okay. My layout's done, and I'll give you close-ups of this at the end of the video. I added a few more of the sequins inside of the snowflakes and popped some of them up for dimension, added my journaling. So very, very eye-catching layout. I really like it. I hope you like it too, and make sure you watch all the other ladies that are following along on this YouTube hop. Thank you very much.